I'm doing now is I'm doing a little more leading with him. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask him to come. He comes up the pressure really well, but he wants to come sometimes and crowd you. So what I'm going to do is if he tries to come up in front of me, I'm not going to hurt him with the crop that I have here, but I'm just going to tap his chest, but I'm not going to let him know that it was me doing it. So I'm going to make it seem like if he passes the point that I want him to be at, it gets annoying.
So Zoro actually doesn't do much of that running into your space. He is a little close, but part of it is he doesn't have cadence in his feet yet. But if he was to come too close or start nibbling on the human, then Fiona would tap him on the chest, but she would keep looking straight forward, having a conversation, and she would act like it never happened. Now, right there, he was hesitant, so instead of turning and facing him, she kept exaggerating her walk so that he could follow. So we're capitalizing on the fact that horses are a little mimetic species. That means they imitate behavior. So a lot of times when horses would get stuck and wouldn't want to move forward and get unsure of themselves, we turn around and face them, which is a body language that's more aggressive and direct like a predator, and furthermore encourages the horse to stop dead in his tracks. Instead, we should just keep looking forward, walking like we're on a mission and we know where we're going, and exaggerate our own steps in order to encourage the horse to follow us. Now, right there, he just got a hold of her shirt with his teeth. And this is real horseplay, right? But he's not mean, but he is definitely trying to assert dominance through his play. And we need to stop that behavior from establishing itself further. Whatever they learn at this early stage tends to remain with them. Horses never forget anything. So we don't want to create a habit of him being okay with trying to dominate, even in a game, or coming and nipping at people, especially as his teeth grow. So again, when this happens, you see how Fiona just moved her elbow just then? It is not, this huge whack, or it's not nagging either, but it's almost like the horse has to believe that every time they come close, uninvited, and nip at a person, they experience unpleasant feeling, but it doesn't necessarily come from the person. It's like they're running into a wall by themselves. It's almost like, oh, every time I put my teeth on something, it doesn't feel good. But Fiona is definitely deliberately looking forward, and she's acting like not much happened. He just happened to run into her elbow. Another thing is when the foal slows down, instead of pulling on that lead rope, you can use the end of it, which is placed in your other hand, and kind of swing it at their side, and that should cause them to catch on to you and again move forward. But it is amazing that at the same time you have to be sure that when you apply pressure to the halter, the foal can feel it, and it is learning to give to that pressure. Because a lot of times they would learn to follow us on their own will, but they wouldn't necessarily give to pressure, which when that comes and surprises them one day, they have this big reaction and can hurt themselves and hurt people. So always make sure that you could tug on that lead rope and the foal comes off the halter pressure. Then as soon as you feel some forward movement, you immediately release. That is the key, to release right away. The slightest slack, you release those hands. She's not worried about him at all. She knows us well, she trusts us, and he does too. Good work. So we are continuing to work with him on giving to that halter pressure. And over here, you would see that he kind of decides to resist a little bit. So instead of constantly pulling with very heavy pressure, my daughter is wiggling the rope and kind of really annoying him. And he's having a little bit of a fit going backwards. That's just the reaction that is natural for them. But then as soon as he gives forward, she releases the pressure, and he himself finds a release by moving his feet forward, and therefore learns that this is the right answer. Move your feet forward if you don't want to feel pressure behind your pole. But again, it wasn't a constant, steady pulling that she was doing. It was tug, 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 tug with elastic arms, and then eventually he stepped forward. This is after a few more sessions of practice, and as you can see, he is following without resistance and even picks up the speed as she does. He is no longer crowding her space or trying to nip at her ever, and we're really proud of him. I hope what we're sharing with you helps you. Thank you for watching.